James, players are back in first day of pre-season. It was a lovely day apart from the torrential rain. How were the lads when they came back in?
Yeah, they were great. All in good spirit. They've had quite a long time off with the World Cup and it being quite an early finish and quite a late start this year. But they all looked in good nick. We've had a couple of the little fat tests this morning, which is always a point of good enthusiasm and good humour. All the lads taking the mickey out of each other, but they look in great shape, which I knew they would. They know that it's a very very serious job what we're trying to do here, and the torrential rain actually helped because we went onto the 3G this morning and the lads looked in great shape.
I guess pre-season's changed so much, hasn't it? Gone are the days where players go away and drink beer and eat food and come back trying to sweat off weight. These guys have got programmes, haven't they? They're ready for the new season. Yeah,
they all have programmes that Paul Morgan, our physio, put together for them. But I think they're all into looking aesthetically nice, aren't they? Looking how good they look on the beach and stuff like that. They're all into these protein shakes and meal replacements and how many. I think there's a competition for how many supplements one person can actually take, but they all look great. Some of them look better than others, but I think they're all keep themselves in great nick, and I think that's credit to themselves. I know that they've been on holiday and enjoyed themselves and got away from football for a little bit, which I think is vitally important to keep them sane, to keep them as sane human beings. But we're back in work now, and they've probably been focused on today for 3 or 4 weeks probably now, and we've had a really good morning's training, and we're looking forward to the next 4.5 weeks.
I think you've got 15 contracted players, which by Accrington Stanley standards is a really high number. How much is that going to help you preparing for the new season, just having that sort of core of the squad in place?
Yeah, well, we wanted to keep the core of the squad because we know they're very good players, and we know the characters fit in with the dressing room and with how I want my dressing rooms to be. You're right, it does allow us to maybe plan ahead a little bit. I plan on making a couple more signings, maybe 3, and then looking to I was going to say exploit then, but that's probably not the right word, to utilise the loan market with the clubs that we have really good relationships with. They understand the financial constraints involved at the club, and I'll be looking for the bigger clubs to help us out financially with what they can take off the bill for their players, and I'll be giving them the development of their player in return, which I think to some players is invaluable depending on what stage of their career they're at. And as I say, they'll come into an environment where they'll enjoy the work tremendously, but they'll be put through the paces, and they'll be asked questions about themselves, their character, and they'll be asked questions about their ability, and they'll be pushed in a way which I think's massively beneficial to players that come to this club.
As always at this time of year, there'll be players you'll be taking a look at, players coming in to train with you. I guess the number of spots available to those players is reduced, but they'll still be keen to make an impression, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to think so. Any player that gets the opportunity, I know, is lucky. It might be Accrington Stanley, but I think we, myself and Paul Stevenson and Paul Lodge and the other guys that are here at the club have good experience, and I think I learned something from last year that I'll be honest with the players that come in for their sake, as more than anything. And I think if you're honest from the word go, and there's that transparency, then there's no comebacks in the future. And the lads, we're in a position where we have to allow lads to come in and train with us, to have a look at them. And I've probably had my busiest 8 weeks of my managerial career just gone. being on the phone and talking to people and planning for this year. Budget wise and player wise, and as I said at the beginning of last season, and I stand by it, that I think your recruitment is probably going to be 95% of the success that you do have, whether that be small or large. It all depends on the players that walk through that door and train with us and develop with us and ultimately come on this pitch and earn the club 3 points and hopefully league football next year.